Hey everybody, happy Monday, and I spent the entire day lying on the couch because it is movie day, so let's take a look at what I recently watched, and I will give you my brief thoughts, and it's very late at night. I'm very tired, so this should be fun. Alright, so starting things off with my all-time favorite genre of film, documentary, we have The Rocky Mountain Cowboy, a documentary all about the life and music of Roy Barnes, who, up until I watched this, I had never even heard of. That's probably because I live in Pennsylvania, and I don't live in the Wyoming area. His music was kind of localized to that area. He had a few hits that kind of sort of went national, but nothing ever really big. So again, up until I watched this, I had no idea who Roy Barnes was, but now I do. Very, I don't want to say brief, but very kind of straight to the point documentary. It's not very long, pretty quick, but they do cover everything. His beginnings, how he got into country music, then of course his career in the music, and then leading up to his unfortunate passing away. So, very interesting documentary. If you're a big fan of country music from like the 30s, 40s, and 50s, as I am, this is something to check out. It was very interesting, great music. I definitely want to look into seeing if I can get any actual like music from him, any CDs. I'm assuming there has to be some Rocky Mountain Cowboy CDs out there somewhere. We'll see. If I can get some, I will pick some up. So very awesome. Definitely, again, worth checking out. It is a documentary put out by Wyoming Public Television, so it's not exactly the highest quality ever. At some points, there's a lady who's kind of, I don't want to say narrating, but she's kind of your host. A little cheesy when she kind of talks. You can tell she either doesn't do this professionally or she's at like a lower level of professional hosting. I don't know, but still, great watch. Would recommend it. Again, if you're a fan of like old school country music, very interesting documentary. And again, good music as well. Want to check out more for more Roy Barnes. So then I had to follow that documentary up with yet another documentary. We have Drunk, Stoned, Brilliant, Dead. This is awesome. This was so good. The story of National Lampoon, and that is what it is. It's talking about National Lampoon that started out at a college and then went into this big magazine and got really big and popular with the magazine that I actually was not super familiar with. I knew National Lampoon was a magazine, but again, I wasn't really familiar with it all that much. I just basically knew their movies. So it was really interesting because they do talk a lot about the magazine, as again, that's where they really got their start. Very interesting to hear about this magazine and how it got so big and huge, and how it took off and became this huge, gigantic, like, juggernaut, and then it kind of all came crashing down, and as to why that unfortunately happened. It does go into the movies, talking about, you know, Animal House and stuff like that, so very interesting documentary that I would highly recommend. Even if you're not really into the magazine, you're just like me, and you were more familiar with, you know, the National Lampoon movies, this is still something you have to watch to understand where National Lampoon came from and how they became something so big, and then unfortunately kind of came crashing down. But a great watch. Again, really recommend this one. Very interesting. I wish I could have been working for National Lampoon back in the day. Looked like a very interesting job, but then again, I don't do drugs, so maybe it wouldn't have been quite as interesting. So I don't know, but still, great documentary. Highly recommend this one. Really good watch. And as I say with documentaries, I usually like when they're less quick like this one and go into a lot of detail. That is what this one does. It does cover a lot of stuff. It's a really well done documentary, and again, they do cover pretty much everything you probably want to know. So fantastic watch. Really good interviews too, so very cool. So up next, I had to rewatch Star Wars The Last Jedi. I saw this one in the theaters and loved it, and really wanted to rewatch this, and I guess spoiler, because I did not even tell you guys yet that I bought this. I bought it, hey. So we'll be taking a look at this later, I guess. So yeah, so again, Star Wars The Last Jedi. I really like this movie. Here's the thing about these movies. They're not perfect. they're not, but no movie is. All movies have something wrong with them. No movie is going to be like, there was nothing I can nitpick in that movie at all. You can always nitpick. I don't care how great a movie is. I don't care how much you like a movie. Some of my all-time favorite movies, I can nitpick all day long if I wanted to, because you can always nitpick. And unfortunately, with movies like Star Wars that are so big and huge and epic, and everybody is invested into Star Wars since, the 70s, people are going to have their opinion, and people are going to nitpick. And of course, people nitpicked the ever-loving heck out of this movie. I mean, oh my gosh, I heard so many, negative things about this film, but I can nitpick all the other Star Wars films, the other 7 Star Wars movies as well. People always say, the original trilogy is perfect, it's so good. I think those people are crazy. I love the original trilogy. Episodes 4, 5, and 6 are amazing, but are they perfect? No. There's so many plot holes and things that are why do they do that, and what's with this character, and what, there's so many things about those movies that I could tear apart if I wanted to, just like I could with the trilogy. The prequel trilogy. I always say, for anybody out there who hates the prequel trilogy, name something you don't like about those movies, and I can point out something in the original trilogy that did the same exact thing. It's all there. Trust me. You just take off the nostalgia goggles, and you'll see it. So yeah, when it comes to this new trilogy, yes, it has its problems. It's not perfect, but it's still darn good. I just love the Star Wars movies. I eat them all up, and I loved it. It was so much fun. Great action scenes. People had to nitpick the part where they're at the casino. Watching this movie for the second time, I quickly realized that's maybe 15 minutes of the movie, which I guess is, for a movie, it's a good chunk, but it really isn't the whole thing. People are like, oh, the movie's just people at a casino. No, it's not. One part of the scene, and I do admit that was kind of filler in a way, but they are setting stuff up, so I don't mind that scene. When you watch it in the movie, they are kind of setting things up to show you that, the Jedis aren't, Jedi's not dead, and I love that. So I really want to see where the next movie's going. I hope it takes place, X amount of years later or something, and maybe the Jedis are building themselves back up. I would love to see that. I have no idea where the next movie's going to go, but this movie gets me so pumped to find out, and it's going to drive me nuts. I mean, I know it's Disney, so they might keep going, but I kind of hope the next movie isn't even the end, and I don't mean those spin-off movies. I mean with the actual, Star Wars film series. I want to see more movies. I want to see where everybody goes. It's so much fun. So again, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I really did enjoy this movie. I like the last one. I like this one, and I have no doubt I'm going to like the third one. So absolutely fantastic. I cannot recommend this one enough. Even though we do have that weird Kylo Ren wearing no shirt scene, which, as I mentioned when I watched this one in the theaters, got a huge laugh, because it is kind of why is he not wearing a shirt? It's so blatantly just let's show his muscles. It's such a weird scene, but regardless, I loved it. So yeah, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, don't nitpick it, just watch it for what it is. It's a fun movie. I love all the Star Wars films. All 8 of them thus far have been fantastic, and the spin-off movies are great as well. So then I had to watch some more Disney, because I am heading down to Walt Disney World in 2 days. I checked out a movie I just had picked up. We have Queen of Katwe, or Katwe. I keep saying Katwe, which sounds like I'm saying cat piss, but I believe it's Katwe. It has an accent that I really can't do. Again, this is a Disney movie that went completely under my radar. When I saw this in the store, I could not believe I was holding a Disney movie that I had never heard of. Blew my mind. I love Disney movies. Animated, live action, whatever. I'm a big Disney movie nut, and again, I had never heard of this one. So had to pick it up, and man, am I glad I did. This was a fantastic movie based on a true story of this girl living in the slums of Africa. Her family is pretty poor. Her father had passed away and left the family with no money, so they're living in kind of a shack and barely making ends meet. There's a bunch of them as well, so it's really tough times for this family. But this girl in the family starts to learn chess, and turns out out she's like a genius when it comes to chess. She can see all these like moves ahead and becomes like this master at the game of chess. It's pretty awesome to watch her go from kind of nothing to building herself up into this like this chess master. Very awesome. Again, great story. Of course, you know, she struggles with remembering who she is and where she came from, and not letting it go too much to her head, even though she is getting a bit of like notoriety for this. So again, great story. Loved all the characters, and they're all, again, based on true characters as well, or true people as well. So really fantastic movie. If you like all the great Disney like biographical films that are out there, there's a bunch of them they've been doing recently. If you're a big fan of those movies, this is also one to check out. If you're like me and for some reason you just hadn't heard of this movie, do yourself a favor, check it out. Fantastic Disney film, and I'm so happy I decided to grab this one. Paid a little bit more for it than I'm used to paying, like $7.50 or $7 or something like that, which is, again, is a little bit more than I normally pay for a single movie, but I don't regret it at all. It was such a good watch, so definitely one to see. Highly recommended. And then finally, and I can't believe I'm saying finally, I feel really horrible, again, as a big Disney fan. Not only am I not hearing about movies that I should be hearing about, but this is a movie that I should have seen a long time ago. Even though it's not something it was easy for me to see, I at least should have watched a bootleg or downloaded it illegally on the internet or something. I should have seen this movie, but I'm now only watching it for the first time. Song of the South. Yeah, again, I can't believe I'm only now just watching this, but I did just get, well, I shouldn't say just recently. I've had this for about over a year now. I actually do, I have the Laserdisc here, the Japanese Laserdisc, and I do have the European VHS as well, which I can't watch yet because I don't have a PAL VCR. I gotta get one of those. But this is region free, so this I can watch, and it does have an English audio track, so finally able to watch Song of the South, and so happy I finally did. Now, this movie has a bit of controversy. I've been reading up on it, and apparently it's nothing new. It's had controversy ever since, like, 1946 when this movie came out. Some people loved it. Some people weren't too happy with it, saying it kind of glorified slavery, even though this does take place after slavery, but it still takes place on a plantation with basically ex-slaves, and there's a lot of racial stereotyping as well. All the black characters in this movie are yeah, kind of stereotyped. So I can understand where the controversy comes from, but at the same time, it's nothing that I haven't seen in movies before, especially from this time period. I mean, watch Gone with the Wind or something like that. I mean, again, it's there's definitely other big movies out there that are no worse than this movie, or movies that are worse than this movie. I think the main issue is it's a Disney movie, and it has cartoons mixed in with live action at times. So you kind of have this children's story that has some controversy. So whereas, you know, again, a movie like Gone with the Wind or something like that, which is a movie meant for adults, some people might have some issues with that movie as well, but at least it's for adults. This is a children's Disney movie, so I can kind of see it. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm white. I guess I'm not really like qualified to necessarily to voice my opinion on this topic, and I don't really want to get into the topic too much. I probably should have watched this with my wife, and she could have weighed in on her her opinion. But anyway, I still really enjoyed the movie. It was great. The scenes of live action and animation mixed in are great. Uncle Remus telling his stories are fantastic, and this is based on a bunch of like stories that are actually published, you know, way back in the day that Disney wanted to make a movie based on. So this isn't a Disney story. But again, just I thought it was great. Great storytelling. Again, I love all the stories that are told. I love all the, you know, the stories about Brer Rabbit and whatnot. They're fantastic. And yes, maybe there is some racial stereotyping in this movie. Yeah. But again, nothing I have not seen in any other movie before. I wouldn't say this movie was worse than any other movie, you know, around this time time period that bases themselves around, you know, the time of slavery or right after slavery. I've seen worse, and I've seen just the same. So I want to say this movie, like, made me go, whoa, hold on, Disney, what are you doing here? But again, I think because it is Disney, that's sort of the main issue, maybe. Again, I don't know. But still, really good. Definitely recommend it. And the one major issue I have with this movie never really being released to, or I should say never at all being released to any format here in the US. Again, it only ever had this Japanese Laserdisc release and a PAL European release. The main issue I have with that is that one of the main and the most popular attractions at Disneyland and Disney World is Splash Mountain, which is based on this movie. So I would say that probably 90%, if not more, of the people who ride that attraction have never even heard of this movie and have no idea what the actual ride is based on. And that always kind of bugs me because I hate that. I hate that people riding that ride don't know that the whole attraction is based on this movie. That drives me crazy. But I don't see Disney ever releasing this one anytime soon. I wish they would, maybe with some kind of like opening, you know, by like Oprah Winfrey or something like that, you know, explaining what's going on. I don't know, but I do wish Disney would just do some kind of release. Maybe not, you know, a standard, release of this, like that is really meant to be like, hey kids, look at this, but kind of like a more adult release, kind of like the Looney Tunes gold collections that, you know, were sort of meant for an adult audience, adult collectors. Do something like that with Song of the South. I wish Disney would, but they kind of, I can't even say they kind of sweep this one under the rug because Zippity Doo Dah, I mean, you see that Uncle Remus scene where he's singing in stuff all the time. Disney's always promoting that, and it's in a bunch of DVDs and VHS tapes I have of you know, Disney songs and whatnot. So it's not like they just completely say this movie never happened, but they kind of don't ever really tell you where all those clips come from and where the attraction is, what the attraction's based on. They kind of just, again, sort of just go, well, yeah, Song of the South existed, but let's not talk about it. So I don't know. Again, I thought it was great. I would recommend it if you can get your hands on a copy of this, whether it's legit or a bootleg. It is worth checking out if you're a big Disney fan. Again, the animation, live action scenes are fantastic. The story's really great as well. Perhaps a bit of controversy within the movie, but again, nothing worse than I've seen before. And I know I'm just repeating myself, but I liked it. What can I say? So, Song of the South, definitely check it out. Very happy that I finally got around to watching this one, which again, I cannot believe I'm saying. I should have seen that years and years and years ago. But anyway, guys, all right, there you go. That is it. So that's all I've recently checked out. Probably won't be watching anything more until after I get back from Disney because I got a lot of stuff to do over the next 2 days. I leave on Wednesday, so basically I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, and then during the morning on Wednesday, I'm going to be very, very busy, so probably no movie watching happening then, so I guess we will have a movie day when I get back. But all right, guys, that is it. Like I said, it's late. I gotta get to bed. So as always, guys, thank you all so much for checking out this video. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Also, if you want to see a brand new video from me every single day, hit that subscribe button and you're gonna get one. Also, be sure to check out Patreon where you can help support the show. This simple donation of $1 or more if you like really does help out, goes a long way, goes right back into these videos. Also, check out Spreadshirt where you can grab yourself many designs of Cinema Sickness t-shirts and hoodies and tank tops and hats and buttons and all kinds of really cool Cinema Sickness gear. And also, as always, most importantly, check out the Cinema Sickness media store on Instagram and the Cinema Sickness toy store on Instagram where you can pick up all kinds of awesome media at the media store and all kinds of awesome movie-related toys and memorabilia, basically anything that's not media at the toy store. So definitely check those out. Again, proceeds do help the show and are by far the most important for the show. Links to everything can be found down below in the description of this video. So again, that is it. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and have a zippity-doo-dah day. Some of you guys were chiming in on yesterday's video saying that you want to see me do some review videos with Sean, my son. So I might start doing that. In fact, we did actually kind of watch a movie together this week. I did start to watch Smurfs: The Lost Village, but I did fall asleep like in the middle of it. It was the middle of the day. I was tired. What can I say? But had we actually watched the entire thing, I may have done a review with him. So I might start doing that for you guys. A lot of you did say you want to see that. So hopefully in the near future, I'll be doing some reviews with my son.